Tesla has a hidden Model 3 configuration that they don't really want you to know about. And in this video, I'm going to be explaining why I think it's the best version of the Model 3 and why Tesla doesn't advertise it. Welcome everyone, my name is Zack and I make videos about electric vehicles, so make sure to like and subscribe if you end up enjoying the video. So I've talked about this a couple times on the channel and have been surprised how many people didn't know about this option, and then I realized that Tesla never really talks about it. So it makes sense that people looking at a Model 3 or Model Y these days wouldn't even know that it exists. If we look at the Tesla website where you build your Model 3 or Y, you'll see that there are only three options: the Standard Range Plus, the Long Range, and the Performance. But what if I told you that there was an option between the Long Range and the Performance that does 0 to 60 in 3.7 seconds for just $2,000 more than the Long Range? And this makes it $6,000 less than the Performance Model 3. And yes, this is actually the Model 3 that I own, and sure, that probably makes me a little bit biased, but hear me out first. I own the Long Range Model 3 with the downloadable upgrade known as Acceleration Boost. Tesla really doesn't talk about this option, so I'm going to explain the history and why I think they avoid advertising it. Now, before I dive in too deep, if you're the type of person that just absolutely needs the fastest version of the vehicle, then you're gonna buy the Performance and nothing I say is gonna change your mind. But for the majority of people, I think the Long Range is the car for you. With Acceleration Boost, you get a really fast car without some of the inconveniences that come with the Performance. I'm talking about the stiffer suspension, the more expensive tires, and the lower ground clearance. With the Long Range, you get a car that's more intended to be a daily driver. And for a lot of people, you really just care about straight line acceleration. So some of the features that come on the Performance aren't that important, such as track mode, the increased top speed, the bigger brakes, and the stiffer suspension. And the Long Range with Acceleration Boost is actually as close as you can get to the Stealth Performance Model 3 that Tesla initially offered and was incredibly popular. It was a Long Range Model 3 with performance acceleration, and it only cost $2,000 more than the standard Long Range. I think Tesla wanted to cut down on configurations and increase their margins, so they cut this option and forced anyone wanting the performance acceleration to buy a true performance model. That was until December of 2019 when they decided to offer Acceleration Boost to current Long Range owners. This cut the 0 to 60 times from around 4.2 seconds on the standard Long Range down to 3.7 seconds with the Acceleration Boost. Sure, the Stealth Performance would be even better if they still offered that, since it was 0 to 60 in 3.2 seconds, but that's gone, so I think this is the next best option. But first off, why did Tesla start offering this downloadable upgrade? Well, it was towards the end of the year in December of 2019, and Tesla was still trying very hard to be profitable at this time. And with the end of the year and quarter approaching, my theory is that Tesla really just wanted to make some easy cash to pad their revenue. They didn't really have to do anything besides create the software update and send an email to owners, so it was extremely cost effective. And since the Long Range has the same motors as the Performance, it was easy for them to increase the output without adding any reliability concerns. And the reason Tesla doesn't want to advertise this is that when you show people two versions of a car, one that gets to 60 in 4.2 seconds and one that gets there in 3.1 seconds, that seems like a very significant difference, and performance-minded people are gonna want to splurge for the more expensive Performance model where Tesla makes more money. But when you throw in an option that does 0 to 60 in 3.7 seconds, it's a different story. Then people start thinking, there's a middle ground that saves me $6,000 and is still really fast. Oh, and it's a more comfortable daily driver with more range and much cheaper tire options. Now, of course, there are absolutely going to be people that just want the Performance because it's the fastest, and I totally understand that. But a decent amount of people will be totally happy with the boosted Long Range. And I think this configuration is especially great for people in colder climates. The car comes with all-season tires instead of summer tires and has more ground clearance than the Performance Model 3. So you'll be better off in the snow or on dirt roads and won't have to immediately buy winter tires if picking up your car in the cold season. And since Tesla initially made this offering a couple years ago at the end of 2019, they can't really take it away, even if it was just a temporary idea to increase revenue. So now they like to avoid talking about it because they want people to buy the performance versions of the Model 3 and Y where they have an increased profit margin. They don't want people to know this option is even out there until they've already purchased the car. Then it's a win-win for them, because if you got the performance, they're happy and made a lot of profit, And if you bought the long range and then discover acceleration boost later on, there's a chance they make another $2,000 off of you in the future for really no added cost. Why else would Tesla not advertise this option on their website when ordering your car? You actually can't see it as an option until you pick up your car and check the Tesla app. Then you'll see it in the upgrade section listed for $2,000. And there will always be people saying that the long range is so slow compared to the performance, and sure, it's slower than the performance, but it's hard to call it slow with the acceleration boost. Is an Audi RS5 or BMW M3 slow? How about an Aston Martin Vantage? Well, the long-range Model 3 with the boost is equal to or faster than all three of those in terms of 0 to 60 times. And Tesla doesn't want you to test drive a long range with the acceleration boost either, because then you might notice that it's fast enough for most people. If you want to test drive one with the boost, see if you can test drive a used Model 3 that has it installed. Tesla likes to add this to their used cars so they can charge people more money on the resale market. So that's probably the only way you're going to be able to experience it. And to make sure the car you're driving has the boost, the best way to tell in the infotainment system is to go to the driving options screen, where you'll see the Sport option. In the standard long range, this will have two options, standard and chill. With the boost, standard becomes Sport. And another great thing about this option is that you don't even have to buy the acceleration boost if you don't want to. You can get the long range, and if a couple of months later you wish it were a little faster, you can spend the $2,000 and buy the boost, and there you go. I also made a video with my friend Charles getting his reaction to the acceleration boost and how noticeable he thought it was. He currently has a long range without the acceleration boost, so it was the perfect test.
Yeah, it's that initial jump off the line.
Oh yeah.
Wow, but it's whoo!
Yeah.
That's good. And again, it's not so much because after it launches, then it feels pretty similar, but that makes sense given what you're saying.
Yep.
About the fact that it's all sort of in the
right.
the initial launch.
Right.
And that's sometimes the place where I feel like mine could be faster.
Yep.
Because it's like it kicks you when it launches, but then it's a little bit, and by the time I hit that 30 miles an hour,
yep,
from there up, it just rips.
And I know this video has been very specific to the Model 3, but it all applies to the Model Y as well. You can get the acceleration boost on the long-range Model Y just like on the Model 3. But let me know down below if you all knew about this option and if you think it's worth it. And make sure to like the video if you enjoyed it. It's free to do and actually helps me out way more than you may think. And if you're thinking about buying a Tesla, you can use my referral link in the description below when placing your order, and we'll both get 1,000 free supercharging miles. But that's all for today. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.